A full screen when you're recording.
You ever see something like that's about to happen and you want to say a word but nothing comes out? It's like you want to say watch out for that thing, but all that comes out is I've had those.
I never really went though when I fucking said
No, it's just an example.
Sounds like a constipated shit when you're trying to like hold the dash. How's that go again?
I'm not doing that.
Fucking traffic. Hey, how you doing?
I guarantee you it's because people don't know what the fuck they're doing. And you got a lowered, you got a modified Honda Civic Si.
We got a Civic coming up and trying to eat him up with the SS. We got all this fucking traffic, though.
If we were transparent, we could race. It's on the goal.
Wait a second, man. Camera switch. Yep. You got a VTEC in the right-hand side.
VTEC kicked in, yeah.
Yep. Yep. They accelerate. They're like, nah, I'm gay.
He was like, is this guy, dude? Denon 5, what does it say on this car?
What, his license plate?
No, on the trunk of his Beamer.
On the trunk of his Beamer.
Dylan. What are the best 5 rappers that you know of? Dylan. Because I spit hot fire. Do you want some of this hot fire?
Lane change. I don't like. So bullshit. Can't even switch my goddamn camera when I'm recording.
I don't know anyone that can.
There's a stranger in the back trying to like spy in on my camera.
He's been doing that shit like.
He's got the Terminator glasses on.
Oh. I need your clothes, your boots, and your motorcycle. I'll be honest with you, that's like the best scene in that movie.
It's like Arnold.
Yeah, that was
Bring me the chopper!
That was the best scene in that Terminator movie was I need your clothes, your boots, and your motorcycle. That was the best scene, personally, and the fight that ensued after that. It was just badass.
Now this Civic is getting off. Just bullshit.
He gets off early.
Then there's another Camero up there.
I wonder if it's an SS or not.
It may look like an SS, but I can't really tell from all the fuck back here.
It's kind of hard to tell from a distance. You have to get like right up on the Camaros to see like which model it is.
And of course, like the guy in his Beamer that's been fucking with us in front of us, he's from Jersey.
I'm from Jersey, but I'm
Not technically.
I'm a good Jerseyan though.
But you're original. Well, you live in Delaware now.
Yeah, but I'm from Jersey.
Oh.
I was born in Jersey. I learned to drive in Jersey, but I'm better than any other Jersey driver.
That's right. Hashtag born in Jersey, but don't drive like you.
Hashtag safe driver.
Hashtag when you got a pedal, you use it.
When I got a turn signal, I use that shit.
Hey, they're from New York though, so I think it's an SS.
I don't know. I don't see the badge. And the tires look like it's got too thick of a sidewall to be a V8. The V8's got the thinner sidewall.
We'll find out. Give us a minute. Traffic is fucking unbelievable. What are you listening to back there?
Dank memes.
The new 50 Cent.
What are you listening to?
I'm from the streets, man.
Dank memes?
Oh, God.
What the fuck is that?
Your headphones ain't going to last long, man. That ain't no.
That's a V6.
I don't know.
Look at this thing.
Aftermarket rims.
Yeah, it's a
V6.
That's a V6. You know,
the V8s have the angel eye headlights.
Yeah, he don't want that. Don't eat him up.
I don't know, man. The V6 ones are actually pretty quick.
Are they turboed or anything?
No, but a 320 horsepower V6, that's actually pretty fast for.
But it's not a V8.
It's not a V8, no, but it does hold its own. You know, nowadays the V6s in cars can pretty much hold their own shit.
These biscuits.
I mean, hell, put it this way.
Oh, okay. Here,
The Buick Grand National was a 3.8 liter V6. Yes, it was turbo, but it was one hell of a thrasher vehicle. You know?
What's that, Alex?
I got a stupid question. When an engine is a Hemi, what does that mean?
Hemispherical.
What does that mean?
Back in the day when Hemis came out, they designed them and made them have hemispheric heads. It's the weight or
I
design.
think it was also the pistons.
What is that?
Something like
How
that.
does that benefit?
It's the weight or design. They're designed differently from.
It was the way the combustion chambers were.
Yeah.
Once the spark plug ignited the fuel that was inside, it just, it affects it. That's why there's so many different types of pistons.
I may
out
be
there
wrong.
that you can
That's
get.
what I thought it was. I thought Hemi's standing for
Well, I mean, it's like when you
hemispheric heads.
You could get flat top pistons. You could get what are the other pistons that are out there? And there's
Hey,
Oh, you got
hey.
service back.
Hey,
there's so many
I've had service
different
these
styles of pistons that you can get out there that it does change. It does dynamically change how the engine, works. It just seems that way. I mean, I could be wrong because I'm still learning as I'm going along. I'm not saying that I know everything,
yeah.
but
Oh yeah, definitely. Like you learn something new like every day. You learn something new.
Yeah, I mean, you could be 30, you could be like
You gotta
50
ask a
years
lot of
old,
stupid
60 years
questions
old,
to
you're
know
still learning.
the answers.
You could be building race cars for like 40 years, and one day you're like, I did not know that. I just learned something. It's like my Uncle Frank, and he's helping me with finishing up with the truck project. And he's like strictly
2000.
carburetor. He's a strictly carburetor kind of guy.
Yeah.
And he's just learning the EFI system that's going on the truck. And he's like, Frank, I called him up one
Some
day.
girls in that car.
I go, hey Frank, what do you think of the new EFI system? He goes, this is actually a nice little package. It's actually easy to learn. And this is coming from a guy that's been building cars since, I don't know exactly when since, but it's definitely been over 40 years that he's been building race cars. And he's like, this is a nice, convenient little package that they give you. And that's another cool thing about it too. With that EFI system, it's got not just its own computer and pump, but it's also got its own O2 sensors, everything like that. Everything is a nice little package deal.
Hey, look! Look what I found. The headphones you said you lost.
Cool.
They're in your jacket.
Oh, good.
Well,
Well, we ended up passing the BMW, by the way.
yeah, fuck that BMW. It's like a early 2000s, late 90s model.
Yeah, it's like I don't even know if it's an M. I don't think it's an M. It might be an F5, but it is a 5 Series. I mean, it's clean.
Yeah, it's clean.
On the outside.
I need to do something about that license plate number.
Why don't you tell everybody truck project that you're doing?
1990 GMC Sierra 1500. I first found the truck. I got it for $800, and it was never intended to becoming a project vehicle. It just ended up becoming that way because it was so reliable to me for an $800 truck. And when I had it, it had 190,000 miles on it. It sat under a tree for 3 years by the previous owner. Trailered it home because the brake system was seized up. Spent about $200 to redo the brake system. And that's including the master cylinder and everything else. Pretty cheap. The parts were cheap and plentiful too. That's another reason I liked it. Drove it, had it for 7 years, had 250,000 miles on it by the time the motor, I wanted to switch engines on it because I had a 350 laying around. And then, of course, like if you're a car guy, the saying goes, the more you modify, well, the more you modify. And it just ultimate snowball from there. So built transmission, built motor, all by me. It was my first engine, my first transmission build. Just learning, reading CarCraft, Hot Rod magazine, stuff like that from cover to cover.
What kind of motor you got in it?
Built 350, but I don't know exactly what it is now because we had the heads punched out, so, and it's been like a couple of years now, and my memory is kind of shot, so I actually don't fully remember what it is. I mean, it might be a 355 at this point.
It's
nothing crazy.
It's a 350 block, though, isn't it?
It is a 350 block. Let's see.
That's a V6 Camaro.
It's Scat 400 crank, speed per flat tops.
Was it mild crank?
It's a, you mean the cam? 465,
Oh, yeah, the cam.
488 cam. 465, 488 cam. From Comp Cams, Beehive valve springs. Let's see, Scorpion, rockers. Everything I got. ARP. I have ARP everything. Let's see. I have quick fuel EFI system. BBK long tubes. The GM Performance Part 17 belt kit, which was really nice. It's really convenient to have. Cleans it up quite a bit. HEI distributor, brand new distributor with Mallory and Mallory's gear, and Hypertech Supercoil. And let's see, Edelbrock, NASCAR edition, RPM intake manifold. And I'm still running the damn mechanical fan. Just because, like, I'm not that good with wiring. My buddies, I've had my buddies and my dad help me build the car, especially because that same truck I was hit in an ambulance with. I was rear-ended really hard. I was a Honda mechanic for a few years at the dealership. I was coming home from work. Red light at 4 o'clock in the afternoon, bright red pickup truck. Obviously, she was texting. So she hit me doing the full speed limit, the whole 50-mile-an-hour speed limit. And because the truck had no factory headrests on it, I had to have my neck completely redone, and with a titanium cage and cadaver bone to replace the cervicals in my neck. So
And that was out in Jersey, wasn't it?
that was out in Jersey. I have a lot of nerve damage, hence the automatic transmission now for my Camero here, because I could still drive a traditional stick, but during damp weather, rain, snow, stuff like that, it feels like pins and needles throughout my hand all the way up to my shoulder and neck. So shifting is kind of difficult on bad weather days. It feels kind of like arthritis combined with pins and needles. I could still row gears though, but I mean, it just doesn't feel the same I used to before the accident happened.
You have an automatic in the truck, though, too.
I have an automatic in the truck. I would eventually, future plans is to get a better transmission for the truck, and I'd actually like to have the...
What is it, just a turbo 350 trans in it?
It's actually the Turbo Hydromatic 700R. And
R4?
It's the R4. I don't think it'll last long. Even though I did build it with TCI internals, you know, that's including 3200 RPM stall speed converter, the Transgo shift kit, the valve body from TCI. I mean, you can only, a TH700 R4, I think it only goes so far.
You have the stock rear in it, don't you?
It's a stock 373 rear gears, the TGM 10 bolt. I'm still do not have a posi yet. I'm looking for a posi, but I don't feel like spending $700 on a posi unit, $400, whatever it is.
I told you before, you should put 411s in it.
If I go 411s, I would still like to like commute to work and stuff in it.
Yeah.
Because it is, I mean, yeah, it's a built truck, but it is still a pickup truck, and a lot of guys like myself, like, you can have a lot of sports cars and stuff, but it definitely seems that a pickup truck seems to be in a league of its own. You could be like, yeah, this car is great, but, you know, I miss my truck. You know, I've had a lot of good memories in that truck. And you can have some pretty good memories in a pickup truck, just like you would with your sports car or whatever.
Well, I just saw recently on your Instagram, too, that you put pictures up. I guess you did the front suspension and everything on it?
I did the front suspension. I did tubed front end. Thank you, DGM, for the parts. The flip kit with the notch system. I have nitro drop suspension all the way around with the Beltec springs, sport truck Beltec, and SSBC brakes. I still kept the drum brakes for now, just because I do want to light them up. I do want to light up the rear tires a lot, so I actually kept my stock wheels and tires just for that reason. Right now I'm on MB old school rims, which I found on Summit. They're very nice. I like them.
Yeah.
They have a nice big lip on them, like the way that I like. I like that offset look. With the truck, I kind of want to mix a little bit of modern, especially from the import world, because I like all kinds of vehicles. I'm not some Chevy fanboy. I mean, yes, the car I'm driving right now is Chevy. The truck right now is a GM product, but I love everything. I love Skylines, 280Zs, 86 Corollas. I wouldn't even mind driving a Miata, a first-gen Miata. I mean, a cool car is a cool car, and a fun car is a fun car to me. So, I'm just used to how Chevy is designed with their motors, and my first car was an 86 Firebird, and being that it's a second-hand car, you're used to it breaking. You're used to shit breaking on you constantly, so...
What year was your fucking what year's your Firebird?
1986 Pontiac Firebird.
I had a I had an 86 too, but mine was the V6. I was intentionally going to take the motor out. I was going to take the V6 out, and I was going to put like a 400 small block, like a Pontiac motor in it, you know what I mean, with tranny, but that never fucking happened, so...
Well, I had the 305, I had the 5-liter 305 with that piece of crap Rochester carbon. A lot of people can hate on me for talking crap about the Rochester carbs, but they sucked. They sucked because it would idle way too high, really high, as if it was cold start. And no matter how many times I would adjust it to turn the idle down, as soon as you stepped on the gas again, it would go right back up to idling way too high. And keep in mind too, I'm 17, 18 years old, so the budget for a new car really wasn't in mind, you know what I mean? Especially being like working part-time jobs, and still being in high school for that matter too. So it wasn't like you were rolling in dough. And
so let me ask you a question though. So what would you think of, like, what are the future brands for the truck?
Future brands coming up?
No, not brands, like future plans. What else do you want to do to the truck?
I would like to do a 6-speed with the paddle shift.
Electronic paddle shift?
I would like the paddle shift itself, especially for the problems that I have with the upper right side of my body.
Yeah.
Hence, with this car, my 2014 Camero here, I have the paddle shift. It's really convenient for me.
Oh yeah,
still enjoy shifting.
You got like these paddle shifts. And you got sport mode and everything like that.
I could still enjoy my shifting, but see, we live near Philadelphia, and I-676 traffic isn't really too good for you with your left knee if you got a clutch.
Yeah.
So it's very convenient in that sense. And
when I had my '97 Civic, and I got it lowered when I had the lowering springs and everything put on it. Just coming from up there, like down through here, like with the traffic and everything, it's fucking. You're always like clutching, stopping and going, stopping and going. Sometimes it gets fucking annoying. It really does in the traffic.
And your knee starts to get sore.
Yeah, because you're holding the clutch in.
And depending on if you got what stage clutch you got, I mean, it's just only going to get stiffer and more unbearable over the more and more you have to do it.
I had my Civic. I had a '97 Civic with just a regular 1.6 liter single overhead cam, but I actually switched it over. I changed the heads out and I put the heads on it from 1.6 liter VTEC from Honda Civic Del Sol. I switched over to VTEC, and then I put a new speed short throw shifter on it. I had new speed lowering springs. I had was it Zoom, I think it's called? Zoom, or they're purple. I had a Zoom Stage 2 clutch in it. I think that's what it's called, Zoom. It was a long time ago. I had
think that's
a
what they were called. I'm not sure.
yeah, I had 16-inch BBS wheels with a 205 4016 tire on it, and I had a Ractive catback exhaust on it with resonator cut out of it, so it was pretty much just like straight pipe. And then I had a one-piece DC Sport header for it.